Today we will discuss some topics that have been going on, such as Drippa from 37th crime scene, picture revealed, Congress Park member Young Mal crashes out, and we will also get into Young Molly shot with his man who turned hot. Young Molly is a rapper from Berry Farms aka Park Chester aka The Nut, and Young Molly has been rapping consistently for some years now and has videos from 4 to 5 years ago with 100,000 to 250,000 views. Young Molly would be shot 2 times some years ago, and the first time he would be shot would be allegedly alongside his man Baby 23, who was killed. The article would only mention Baby 23 and a girl being shot, but the streets would say that Young Molly was hit in this shooting too.
All right, let's get you up to speed on some breaking news we are following in the district tonight. Let's start in Southeast D.C. A man was shot and killed inside of an apartment complex here, and a girl under the age of 18, according to police, was hurt in that same incident. Police are still on scene, you see right there, looking into exactly what happened here.
Baby 23 was from Berry Farms and was only 18 when he was killed. Allegedly, Baby 23 would get picked up for a Southeast homicide as a juvenile, and he would get released after 4 months. A defense attorney is seeking a murdered defendant's release from D.C. jail, citing the facility's conditions of confinement and the changing circumstances surrounding the case. Wesley Scott, 21, is charged with first-degree murder while armed in the fatal shooting of 28-year-old David Young on the 3500 block of 22nd Street Southeast on April 3, 2020. The 21-year-old defendant has been held in custody ever since he was arrested the following August. During Scott's most recent hearing on March 9th, defense attorney Matthew Davies voiced his request for his client's release. Davies said the defendant has been involved in violence intervention programs and has no prior convictions. He said nothing in Scott's background should cause concern for the community's safety. In a bond review motion filed last November, Davies pointed out that Michael Benbow, who identified Scott as the driver of the vehicle allegedly used in the deadly shooting, is now deceased. Benbow, 18, was also charged with murder in connection with Young's death, but he was fatally shot on April 21, 2021, while on pre-trial release. The streets would react to the Baby 23 story. Do you think they spanked him to get their man out of jail? The next topic we will get into is Congress Park member Young Mal crashes out. Young Mal is a Congress Park member who can be seen in this Congress Park hood vlog, and he can also be seen in Young Foot Soldier music videos, and he can also be heard getting shouted out by Young Foot. Young Mal would recently go down for a blat, shooting some niggas and a rack of other shit. The article would say, DC man arrested, 2 wounded after shots exchanged in Ballston building. 2 people were shot in a Ballston apartment building early New Year's Day amid a chaotic night in parts of Arlington. Police were dispatched to the Rixey building at the Marymount University Ballston campus just after 1 a.m. for a report of a person with a gun on an upper floor of the building. That floor is used for short-term rentals by an apartment hotel service, according to scanner traffic. Police and medics later located a pair of people suffering gunshot wounds, one on a nearby street corner and the other dropped off at Virginia Hospital Center. The wounds, one to a hand, the other to a foot, were described by police as not life-threatening. Arlington County Police say they determined that the suspect, a 21-year-old D.C. man, fired the first shot after a verbal dispute with a group of people inside a common area of a residential building. Someone then fired back, striking the suspect, who was later arrested after being treated at the hospital. The Arlington County Police Department's Homicide Robbery Unit is announcing an arrest in the January 1st, 2025 shooting inside a residential building in the 1000 block of North Glebe Road. Malachi Rawlings, 21, of Washington, D.C., was arrested and charged with aggravated malicious wounding, use of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and felon in possession of a firearm. He is being held without bond in the Arlington County Detention Facility. At approximately 1:11 a.m., police responded to the report of an assault with a weapon. The preliminary investigation indicates the male suspect became engaged in a verbal dispute with a group of individuals inside a common area of a residential building. The male suspect then brandished and discharged a firearm, striking the victim. One member of the group then discharged a firearm, striking the suspect. The victim, an adult male, self-reported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect was located at the intersection of North Glebe Road and 11th Street North. Medics transported him to an area hospital for treatment of a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. Following medical treatment, he was arrested and charged. The streets would react to Congress Park young Mal crashing out. For the last topic, we will discuss Drip from the 37th crime scene revealed. Recently, the streets would reminisce about 2023 and the deadly week that killed 3 up-and-coming DC rappers. This would be back in March of 2023, and this would be the week that rappers 23 Trey Dog, Money Reek, and Drippa were all killed. 23 Trey Dog would be killed by members from rival hood Henderson Ridge, aka GBG. After killing Trey Dog and injuring his man GBG, members would burn the stolen kaya used in the homicide around Pomeroy Road Southeast.
16-year-old is dead and another teen was seriously hurt after D.C. police say someone targeted them while they were riding a motorbike. Police say the gunman shot the teens while they were in traffic last night on Alabama Avenue Southeast. News 4's Paul Wagner spoke with someone who knew the teens and is frustrated with the violence.
Just after 9 o'clock last night, D.C. police say gunmen in a stolen car opened fire on the teens as they rode a motorbike near Alabama Plaza, a strip mall near the Suitland Parkway.
Well, we definitely believe that the two young men were targeted, and that's very unfortunate.
D.C. Police Chief Robert Conte says investigators do not believe there was an exchange of gunfire and the motive is unclear.
We're going through combing for video today, checking metro buses that were in the area, that kind of thing, to be able to provide any video that might be helpful in this investigation.
After the shooting, a motorbike stayed in the middle of the street as police worked the scene. It was just a few hours after the shooting up on Alabama Avenue Southeast that police got a call for a car on fire here in the 2800 block of Pomeroy Road Southeast. Investigators now believe this car, a Kia Optima, stolen out of Prince George's County, was used by the gunman to shoot those teens. Police say Trayvon Green of Southeast was the 16-year-old killed in the shooting. Brian Russell, who works at a nearby barbershop and volunteers with the Black Voice Project, says he knows both of the young men.
Days when we handed out food or did things with the community, they was always here helping.
So they were helping out with your project?
Always.
Yeah. What do you make of all this violence going on down here?
Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Sometimes I think that we all need a hug sometimes, but you know how that goes.
Less than 3 months into the new year, homicides are up 10%. So far, 46 people have been murdered in the city, compared to 42 at the same time last year. In the district, Paul Wagner, News 4.
Those are quick as shit on something. Cuz.
Hey, J5, babe.
Him head. Ain't even on the side. You gotta get low. Excuse me.
Hey, excuse me. Slow down.
The next homicide would be a double homicide and would happen only a day later. This would be the murder of Money Reek. Money Reek would be killed alongside two of his men, and one of them would also be killed. Reek would be killed with Bug, and J.G. Wardy would also be there too. But he would allegedly run in the building and shut the door. The suspect would never be caught for this homicide, and the streets would have a lot of assumptions on who is responsible, but no one knows who is really responsible for the Bug and Reek homicides.
Also investigating a deadly double shooting on 3rd Street Southeast. Police say 2 adult men were shot and killed. The shooting happened near Oxen Run Park. Police have not made any arrests.
The last homicide in this deadly week in March 2023 would be Drippa from 37th, and this homicide would happen 2 days after Bug and Reek and 3 days after Trey Dog. Drippa would be killed by Stop Dad from Simple City after Drippa and other Fox 5 members would try to spin Simple City, but the car would get stopped. After this, the Fox 5 members in the car would dump Drip body back around 37th, and recently a picture would be posted and deleted of Drip dead body laying around 37th with a white sheet covering him. After Drip would be killed, they would have his funeral, and Simple City and Paradise would spin the funeral and kill Drip's cousin and injure 2 others. After Drip's funeral would be shot up, Simple City would be shot up only 20 minutes after. Do you think this was one of the most deadly weeks in DC history?
Also, just in the last few hours, police have found the car used in that horrifying shooting outside of a funeral home yesterday. But they're still looking for the killer or killers who shot to death one of the mourners and injured 3 other people.
The family of the murder victim tonight is out with a forceful statement suggesting police knew there could be trouble at the funeral, but did far too little to head it off. Bruce LeShand is here. And Bruce, you've been talking to the family of Terrell Coghill.
Well, that's right, Leslie, I have. They are remembering 29-year-old Terrell Coghill as a loving father, brother, and nephew who had turned his life around and was deeply into music and trying to provide for his daughter. They say he was at the funeral to mourn a close friend. In a statement, they're saying police had been asked to attend the service precisely because of concerns that something like this shooting could happen. Having one officer in close proximity across or down the street does not mitigate violence, the Coghill family wrote. As everyone is aware, most violence happens when the majority of people are outside, i.e. the start or let out of the actual funeral, they said. This tragic shooting occurred 17 minutes after the funeral concluded, and claiming people were milling about is also inappropriate, they wrote. Who leaves a funeral within 10 minutes of it ending without saying farewell to friends and family? Why, they ask, did police leave the premises within 10 to 15 minutes of the funeral ending without ensuring the safety of the funeral goers? Now, we've asked police for a response to these allegations, and we're still waiting to hear back.
That's a pretty strong letter there, Bruce. But police, are they making any progress on this investigation? What are you hearing there?
Yeah, we're hearing that they're making a lot of progress. They found that white Lexus IS 350 that they were looking for, and they're clearly scouring it for some more evidence. Law enforcement sources also tell me that they believe this shooting was connected to a group called, get this, the Fox 5 crew. Sources tell me the attackers from another crew were so brazen they shot up the funeral crowd even knowing police were around. The funeral was for 24-year-old Stephen Carroll, who was himself the victim of a still unsolved shooting late last month in Southeast, about a mile from the Stewart Funeral Home on Benning Road Northeast.
Yeah, and even with a lot of this, Bruce, we know that a lot of people in that neighborhood are just frustrated, right?
They really are. So coming up at 6, we're going to hear from neighbors who are outraged by the shooting at a funeral and pleading with young people to put down the guns and just start talking to each other.
Yeah, that's a consistent plea. All
And
right,
it
Bruce.
would be a start.
Yeah.
If they would.
Yeah,
all right.
you, Bruce.
So you know I'm feeling right out. Hoppin' that ride ain't nothing to do. Real street niggas turn 1 to 2. They like when you gon' get in the stew. I'm busy pouring shit, don't kill more news. I'm really running the streets. Niggas don't be trying running to me. Drop shit on the ops, they gon' fuck up a beat. They won't let me sweep me, drop shit out the Jeep. Hoppin' that ride ain't nothing to do. Real street niggas turn 1 to 2. They like when you gon' get in the stew. I'm busy pouring shit, don't kill more news. I'm really running the streets. Niggas don't be trying running to me. Drop shit on the ops, they gon' fuck up a beat. They won't let me sweep me, drop shit out the Jeep. And this is one nigga can't wait till I capture. I spit on the hill and I'm making you dack it. One of my wrist, scrape the pot for the extra. Fuck it, I stretched it. We was fishing and got on the chase. Wop hit the gas and he got us away. Black on my ace, now I'm 1 car away. Drop shit out the Drake and went right on the 8th. I'm serving the thunder, got 80 and zip. My chopper do numbers, got coke in the fit.